Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, we will be taking a look at the CRKT Shenanigan, so stay tuned. I picked this up at Lowe's a couple of months ago. For the life of me, I cannot remember what I paid for it, but right now Blade HQ is selling them for like 25 bucks, and you can get them on Amazon for about 30. So, the price came down pretty cheap, so it's definitely worth taking a look at. Now you can tell I got it at Lowe's because it has this weird clamshell packaging with the nylon cord in it. That is an accident waiting to happen. I actually cut my finger pretty deep opening up one of these clamshell packaging thingies from Lowe's, so I don't like them, and they need to stop using it before somebody gets injured and has to go to the hospital and sues the living crap out of them. Anyway, the name Shenanigan, it's kind of strange because the knife designer, Ken Onion, designed this to be a no-nonsense working utility knife. Also could be used as EDC or camp knife, but the name sort of implies something different. I looked it up in the dictionary, and they say that it's something that's devious, tricky, high-spirited, mischievous activity, but it's supposed to be no nonsense. So I don't understand why they sort of named it the opposite of what the knife designer Ken Onion had in mind. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this up and go over these specifications, and then we'll do some tests. Closed, this knife is 4.875 inches and weighs 4.1 ounces. Opening it up, we use the flipper right there, and when it's open, it is 8.25 inches. The blade length is 3¼ inches, and the thickness is about 1/10 of an inch. The steel is AUS 8. Pretty good steel for something that's $25 or $30 from CRKT, and the steel is typically between 58 and 59 on the HRC scale, so pretty strong, hard steel. Should hold an edge pretty good. It has a bee-blasted finish. Bee-blast on AUS 8 is living a little dangerously. You may it may be susceptible to rust unless you keep a good coat of some sort of oil on there, so just keep that in mind. This is a hollow grind. It goes up about 2/3 of the blade, so there is some flat area right here where you could clamp on a sharpening device. You have a unsharpened swedge right there, and it is a drop point or a modified drop point. You can see the edge is kind of neat. It has a slight recurve, nice belly right there. Pretty impressive. This is a first production. It's indicated right there. And again, Ken Onion design. Take a look at the other side really quick. You can see it says CRKT, and it has the model number right there. Other things to point out, that this being the plain edge, it also comes in a combo edge where you do have serration, so you have a choice. And I think they have other versions with different types of scales or handles. This is a glass-filled nylon handle. It is a liner lock, as you can see right there, and lockup is pretty good for a new knife. It's all the way behind the blade with some room to wear. It is a little thin, a little on the thin side. I wish this liner was a little thicker. I consider that the liner locks are the weakest of the three well-known locks as far as liner. Then you have the frame lock and you have the lock back. I think the liner, in my opinion, is probably the weakest of the three. However, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It is sort of nested a little bit, so you can see how it nests into the frame just a little bit. Only other things here left to go over is you have a nice clip right here. That clip cannot be positioned anywhere else on the knife, so it is for right-handers, blade or tip down carry right there. again, here's the flipper. It does come out nice and fast. I barely pushed it right there. You would almost swear that this thing is a assisted opening because it is so smooth. You have a pivot screw right there, so you can adjust it. And you do have 2 screws holding that clip on, so if you want to remove it, you could go ahead and do that. Feels pretty strong. I like this clip a lot. I really do like it. And when you put it in your pocket, only about that much shows. So it's a pretty deep carry considering the size of this knife. So the other thing to point out is that the liner in here is 420 J2 steel. So let's go ahead and begin some tests. The first thing is how well the blade is centered, and you can see that the blade is a little bit toward your right. Now it's not hitting the scales at all, but it is sort of off to the right a little bit, and that can most likely be adjusted, adjusting the pivot screw with a Torx screwdriver right there. Let's go ahead and check ergonomics. I'll tell you, this is an extremely comfortable knife in any type of grip, reverse grip and normal grip. You do have a little bit of jimping here in the handle, and it actually is pretty functional. I mean, it's very functional as a matter of fact. So ergonomics are right there. Really, really nice. Another thing I noticed right here, I like when the edge is like this, where you have a little bit of a choil, so when you're sharpening, you don't have to worry about rooting your stone or ruining the shoulder of the blade, because the edge just ends just like that. So I really do like that. Let's see, lockup. We do not have any up and down play or side to side play, so very, very nice. So far, I'm pretty impressed for a knife Ace at $25. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and do a paper cut test. This feels sharp to me on my finger and my fingernail, but let's let the paper prove it. Look at that. That's a push cut right there. Wow. That's a push cut. If you see, I'm not pulling the blade back or forth. I'm just pushing it through the paper. So you know that is a... this might be one of the sharpest knives I've reviewed out of the box. Look at that. That's just insane. So extremely sharp. Well done, CRKT. Next, we'll go ahead and stab some wood real quick. Make sure that the tip doesn't break off easily. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do that. I know a lot of people cringe when I do this, but I just want to make sure that we don't have any fundamental problems with the heat treatment where the tip would just break off easily. It's very rare that a knife would fail that test, and we'll go ahead and bring that in so you can see. And keep my camera from trying to focus on other crap. And you can see the tip is intact. So let's go ahead and do a really close look. Again, not Zytel handles, but glass-filled nylon. And you can see it has a nice hole right there for a lanyard. Easily fit 550 cord through there. You can see the frame could come apart. Has some more Torx screws. It does have a spacer right here that closes up the back about halfway, so it could be a little susceptible to holding dirt in there. But for such a large knife, it actually is pretty light. I mean, just a hair over 4 ounces. That's pretty impressive. So let's go ahead and wrap things up really quick. I give this a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. It's a very fast manual flipper with a couple of small issues. The blade alignment was just a little bit off when folded, and the liner is just a little thin for my taste, but other than that, everything else is just spot on for a large, EDC Could be pushed into a defensive role easily, camping, whatever you want. This can do it. One other con is that it had the potential to be a very ergonomic knife if this clip were able to move, because it doesn't even have thumb studs. It's just a flipper, which could be worked with either hand. So they sort of failed with that, I think. They should have made it where you could put the clip wherever you wanted to. But really good, definitely worth it. Gets a 9 out of 10. Just real quick before I sign off, just a comparison. Here's my everyday carry, which is a Cold Steel American Lawman, and you can see it's about the same size right there. Okay. Thank you Thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and you, and I hope you have a great evening. Take care.